The Avari's desperate signal. The council chamber floated among the stars like a jewel made of light and hope, hope that was dying with each passing moment. High Chancellor Vaelra stood at the curved observation window, her four slender arms clasped behind her back, watching her homeworld burn. Even from orbit she could see the black tendrils of the scourge spreading across Avaris Prime like rot through dying flesh. Cities that had stood for 10,000 years crumbled in hours. The screams of her people echoed in her mind, transmitted through emergency channels that grew quieter by the hour. "How many?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Council member Thanos checked the holographic display, his bioluminescent markings dimming with grief. 17 colony worlds fallen, 3 more under siege, casualties. He paused, his voice breaking. 43 billion and counting. The number hung in the air like a death sentence. The Avari Union had built a civilization on peace. For millennia, they had solved problems through diplomacy, trade, and art. They created beauty. They studied the cosmos. They believed that intelligence and compassion were the ultimate evolutionary advantages. Their worlds were gardens of crystal spires and singing forests, where violence was a concept studied only in ancient historical texts. They had been wrong. The Scourge didn't negotiate, they didn't trade, they consumed. World after world fell to the swarm. Billions of insectoid nightmares that devoured everything organic and enslaved or slaughtered everything sentient. The Avari military, such as it was, lasted 3 days against the first invasion wave. Their elegant defense platforms, designed more for show than function, crumpled like paper sculptures in a storm. "The distress signals?" Vaelra asked, turning from the window. Her face, delicate and translucent like fine porcelain, showed every ounce of her desperation. "Sent to every known civilization within 100 light years," Thanos replied. The Krell Confederacy acknowledged, but declined to intervene. The Scourge are moving toward their territory next. They're fortifying their borders. "Abandoning us to buy themselves time," Vaelra said bitterly. The Zenthari sent condolences and offered to accept refugees, if they can reach Zenthari space. His markings flickered. Most won't. The Scourge control the shipping lanes now. Around the chamber, other council members sat in stunned silence. Some wept openly. Others stared at displays showing the real-time collapse of their civilization. A culture that had reached for the stars now watched those same stars become tombs. "There must be someone," Vaelra insisted, her voice cracking. "Anyone." "Chancellor." Thanos hesitated. "There was one response, but Show me." The hologram shifted, displaying a crude, almost primitive message. The translation algorithms struggled with it, as if the language was too direct, too simple compared to the elegant complexity of Avari speech. Message received. Coordinates logged. Terran Defense Fleet mobilizing. ETA, 6 standard days. Hold on, we're coming. Below it, a designation. Earth, United Terran Alliance. The chamber erupted in confused murmurs. "Earth?" Vaelra repeated, the name unfamiliar on her tongue. "Where is a backwater system in the outer spiral arm?" Another council member, Loren, interjected with barely concealed disdain. "Class 5 civilization. They only achieved faster-than-light travel 3 generations ago. Their worlds are..." She paused, searching for the word. "Hostile, high gravity, extreme weather, aggressive megafauna. They call their own homeworld a death world." "Deathworlders," someone whispered, and the word spread like a chill through the chamber. Every spacefaring species knew the stories. Deathworlders were beings evolved on planets so dangerous, so brutal, that merely existing there was a constant battle for survival. Most civilized species had evolved on gentle worlds, moderate gravity, stable climates, cooperative ecosystems. Deathworlders came from apocalypses made manifest. They were considered barbaric, violent, unstable. "You can't be serious," Loren said, her voice rising. "We asked the galaxy for help, and the only ones who answered are humans?" She spat the word like a curse. "I've read the cultural reports, they're barely unified. They spend centuries at war with themselves. They still have weapons that can sterilize their own planet. They're dangerous. They're all we have, Velra said quietly. No. Loren stood, her forearms gesturing wildly. We would be inviting wolves to defend against jackals. The rumors about these humans are rumors, Velra snapped, her patience fracturing. What would you have us do? Wait here and die with dignity? Let our children be consumed by the scourge? Because we're too proud to accept help from species we consider beneath us? The chamber fell silent. Velra looked around at her council, at the representatives of a dying civilization. Send a response. Tell them we accept their aid. Give them tactical data, invasion vectors, everything we know about the scourge. And if they demand payment, we cannot afford? Thanos asked. Territory, resources, alliance obligations? Then we negotiate, Velra said. But they're coming either way. Look at their message. They didn't ask for permission or discuss terms. They just said they were coming. She turned back to the window, watching another city on her homeworld go dark. Maybe that's what we need. Not diplomats or merchants, not philosophers or artists. She touched the cold glass with one trembling hand. Maybe we need monsters who are willing to fight monsters. In the void beyond the council chambers, the Scourge fleet continued its inexorable advance. And 6 days away, something the galaxy had never truly witnessed was awakening. Humanity had heard the call, and humanity was angry. When Deathworlders deploy the Terran battle carrier Indomitable tore through subspace like a blade through silk. Admiral Ryan Cole stood on the command deck, hands clasped behind his back, watching the tactical display with the kind of calm that only came from 30 years of combat experience. Around him, the bridge hummed with controlled chaos. Officers calling out coordinates, engineers rerouting power, weapons officers running system checks. The atmosphere was electric, purposeful. They had 6 days to cross 100 light years. The fleet was pushing their slip drives to the absolute limit. Admiral, Lieutenant Commander Harris called from the sensor station. Long-range scans are coming in from the Avari system. It's bad, sir. Cole moved to the holographic display. The tactical map materialized in the air before him. A 3-dimensional nightmare painted in red hostile markers. Dozens of Scourge bioships swarmed through the Avari system like locusts, each one the size of a city block, pulsing with organic machinery. Behind them, processing vessels dragged captured Avari transports like prey. Population estimates? Cole asked, his voice leveled despite the anger building in his chest. 40 billion confirmed dead. Another 20 billion displaced or in immediate danger. The Scourge are targeting population centers first, then resource extraction sites. Harris swallowed hard. Sir, they're not just invading. They're harvesting. Cole's jaw tightened. He'd seen the intelligence reports on the Scourge. A hive mind species that consumed biomass to fuel their expansion. Every person they captured became food or raw material for more soldiers. It was efficient, brutal, and it made Cole's blood boil. Show me their fleet composition. The display shifted. Hundreds of contacts organized in swarm patterns. No clear command structure, but a terrifying coordination. They outnumber us 15-1, said Commander Patricia Wells, his executive officer. She was a tall woman with sharp features and sharper instincts. Maybe worse once we're in system. Then we'll just have to be creative, Cole replied. A door hissed open behind them, and Ambassador Lena Aris stepped onto the bridge. She was younger than Cole by a decade, with dark skin, intelligent eyes, and the kind of diplomatic grace that had negotiated 3 separate peace accords before she turned 40. She also carried a service pistol on her hip, because Lena Aris believed in diplomacy, but she wasn't naive. Admiral, she said, moving to his side. I've been reviewing the Avari cultural files. They're pacifists. They've never seen warfare like what we're bringing. They're about to see the Scourge wipe them out, Cole countered. I'll take shocked over extinct. Agreed. But we need to manage expectations. Lena pulled up her own data slate. The Avari requested aid. They didn't request us. From what I can gather from their response messages, they're terrified of humans almost as much as they are of the Scourge. Cole raised an eyebrow. Terrified? We answered their distress call. We're Deathworlders, Ryan. To most of the galaxy, that makes us barely civilized monsters. She smiled without humor. They think we're going to show up, kill everything, and then probably demand their planets as payment. That's ridiculous, is it? Lena gestured to the tactical display. Look at our fleet composition. 12 battle carriers, 40 destroyer escorts, 6 heavy cruisers, 2 orbital bombardment platforms. We're bringing enough firepower to crack a planet. The Avari's entire military lasted 3 days, and we probably have more guns on this ship alone than they had in their entire defense force. Cole was quiet for a moment, understanding her point. So what do you suggest? Let me talk to them first. Establish contact. Show them we're here to help, not conquer. She looked at the tactical display, at the red markers consuming world after world, and then you do what you do best, which is remind the galaxy why Earth doesn't lose wars. Across the fleet, similar conversations played out in 100 briefing rooms. On the Valiant, Captain Maria Chen addressed her Marine companies. 2,000 soldiers in powered armor, weapons that could punch through tank plating, and expressions that would make stone crack. They'd been training in zero-G combat, urban warfare, and close-quarters boarding actions for the entire journey. Listen up, Chen barked, her voice carrying the authority of someone who'd led soldiers through hell and brought them home. The Scourge are a hive species. They don't surrender. They don't retreat. They fight until they're dead or you are. Intelligence says they're using captured Avari civilians as shields and processing them into biomass for their war machine. A low growl rippled through the assembled Marines. I know, Chen continued. Makes your blood boil, doesn't it? Good, use that. But stay sharp. The moment you lose discipline is the moment you lose Marines. We're going in outnumbered and outgunned by a species that thinks we're just more meat for the grinder. She smiled, cold and predatory. Let's teach them the difference between prey and predators. The Marines roared their approval, the sound echoing through the hangar like thunder. In the engineering sections, Chief Engineer Kowalski pushed his teams past exhaustion. They'd been running 3-shift rotations, keeping the slip drives operational at a 110% capacity, rerouting power, reinforcing hull plating, and preparing every weapon system for sustained combat. Boss, we push these drives any harder. We're gonna blow out the primary manifold, one of his technicians warned. Then we'll fix it when it breaks, Kowalski replied, not looking up from his diagnostic panel. Those people out there don't have time for us to take it slow and safe. We get there in 6 days, or we might as well not go at all. The technician hesitated. You really think we can take on a fleet that size? Kowalski finally looked up, his weathered face splitting into a grim smile. Kid, my grandfather fought in the Belt Wars. My mother defended Mars during the Separatist crisis. I grew up on stories about how humans took a planet that tried to kill us every single day and turned it into a garden. We walked upright in gravity that would crush most species. We breathed air most species would consider toxic. We looked at a galaxy full of intelligent life and said, we belong here too. He gestured to the tactical display visible through the engineering viewport. Those bug bastards out there, they think they're apex predators. They think they're unstoppable. He turned back to his console. They've never met humans who decided to give a damn. Back on the bridge of the Indomitable, Cole received the latest update from the Avari Council. Their situation was deteriorating faster than predicted. 2 more worlds had gone dark. Refugee ships were being hunted through the outer system. ETA, Cole demanded. 4 days, 18 hours if we maintain current speed, Harris reported. Too long. Engineering, I need more power to the drives. Admiral, we're already at, I don't care about specifications, Commander. Those people are dying now. Find me 6 more hours. There was a pause, then Kowalski's voice came through the comm, rough but determined. You'll have it, sir. Might have to rebuild the entire engine room afterward, but you'll have it. That's all I ask. Lena touched Cole's arm gently. You know we might get there too late. The Scourge could overrun the core worlds before— No, Cole interrupted, his voice like iron. We don't accept that. Humanity didn't claw its way from caves to the stars by accepting defeat. We're going to get there. We're going to fight, and we're going to win. He turned to face his bridge crew, seeing the determination reflected in every face. Because that's what we do. Someone calls for help, we answer. Someone threatens the innocent, we stand in their way. The galaxy thinks we're monsters. He smiled, cold and fierce. Then let's be the monsters the Scourge has nightmares about. Across the fleet, battle preparations intensified. Weapons were loaded. Armor was donned. Strategies were refined. And in the hearts of every human aboard those ships, a simple truth burned. They had asked Earth for help, and Earth never did anything halfway.